The newest entry in the wildly popular Monster Hunter franchise has released, Monster Hunter Wilds, and I've just finished up my playthrough with it and I wanted to discuss my thoughts. So I'll just get right to it. I think this is a fantastic Monster Hunter game. And frankly, it's as if Capcom made a Monster Hunter game designed specifically for me. It improves or changes the aspects of Monster Hunter World and Rise that I always struggled with and, in my opinion, has made the most accessible and enjoyable entry in the series yet. So in this entry, you play as a character known as the Hunter, and you and your team stumble upon a young boy. From there, you go on a journey involving the boy and a mysterious monster known as the White Wraith. I won't say more than that because the story is surprisingly really good. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting a Monster Hunter game to have such a heartfelt and moving story. It has some really powerful moments that make you think, and one that I don't think you should just gloss over. Monster Hunter has always been known for the really addicting and polished gameplay loop, but never any kind of worthwhile story, but I'm all here for it. Now, it's not a perfect story, and it isn't matching anything like Red Dead Redemption or The Witcher, but no one was expecting it to. I also have to mention that I was really surprised with the characters and frankly impressed. They were introduced and developed throughout the game, and I grew attached as time went on. For me, there isn't much that is worse than boring cookie-cutter characters. I'm looking at you, Avowed.
It sure is. Reminds me of old times. Long marches under the desert sun. Scouting runs through sandstorms so thick we had to tie our tunics over our mouths.
Now, not every character was a winner. There were a few that I found unbearably annoying, but the characters that I did like were charismatic and fun, and enjoyable to be around. It had a really good core that I was happy to play through the game with. And the voice acting was overall really strong with the likes of Kristen McGuire and Amber May, to just name a few. I could feel the emotion in every line, and it shows that Capcom took the narrative of this entry serious. It was nice to go into this game and be surprised by such an engaging narrative. And not that past Monster Hunters necessarily had terrible narratives, but they never had anything that hooked me in, but I'll say this one definitely did. But of course, you probably aren't here for my thoughts on the story of Monster Hunter as much as you are for the gameplay, and as I hinted at before, I feel like Capcom tailored this game towards me and my gripes with past Monster Hunter games. Let me explain. This entry has the familiar monster hunting formula that we have seen in the past, with some welcome improvements. The main loop has you fighting these giant, over-the-top, and super well-designed monsters. You have a variety of familiar weapons to choose from the large sword to the twin blades to the cartoonishly large hammer. And each one will suit a different playstyle. I personally mostly stuck to the large sword because I like the feeling of the weight each of my swings had as they tore through the flesh of each monster. But playing with quick and efficient weapons had its own level of enjoyment. Knowing I can maneuver around a monster and slowly wear it down while I quickly slash bits and pieces off. No matter how you decide to play, it all works, and honestly, that is the most impressive thing Monster Hunter does in my opinion. Everyone has a playstyle that will work for them, and that's especially true with this newest entry. Another addition that I absolutely loved was Focus Mode. By holding the left trigger, you enter this focus mode and can easily target specific areas of the monster. And I love this addition because I always felt that it could be challenging at times to hit exactly where I wanted, with the monsters moving around so much. I personally have always found the Monster Hunter controls to be a bit clunky at times, and this addition definitely helps smooth things out in my opinion. The other side of this mechanic that I really like is the wound system. After damaging a specific spot on a monster a bit, a wound will open up and glow red while in focus mode. You can then hit the wound with a perforated strike and do massive damage. These attacks are endlessly satisfying and really make it feel like I'm doing damage. Something about Monster Hunter games in the past that I have always struggled with is the fact that you do little bits of damage over time, and I never felt like I was really overpowering and dominating a monster, only tiring them out slowly but surely. This mechanic makes me feel dominant and in control of fight. I absolutely loved it, and it's one of my favorite parts of Monster Hunter Wilds. Honestly, I don't know if I'll be able to go back to other Monster Hunter games after this. The other major mechanic that was introduced in Wilds that I think was a home run was the introduction of secrets. These are half raptors / half horse creatures that you can ride around on and call literally whenever you want. They allow traversal through the environment and can assist in fights. One of the coolest things you can do is jump off the back of one and onto a monster's back and then slash away. But the best part about secrets is they changed the one thing about Monster Hunter that I've always hated. They keep fights moving. For me personally, I loathed every time a monster would start running away mid-fight and hide in Monster Hunter worlds. I didn't like having to interrupt my heated fight to spend 5 to 10 minutes walking around playing detective. The introduction of these secrets keep the fight moving, and I never felt like the flow is interrupted for too long. Now, I fully understand that not everyone feels this way, and plenty of people enjoy the longer drawn-out fights, but that wasn't me, and so I welcome this change. And of course, I have to talk about the utterly fantastic designs of these monsters. I was continually impressed every time a monster would make its massive entrance. Unfortunately, towards the end of the game, some of the designs were being reused a bit, with a bit of a twist, and granted there was a story reason for this, but I will admit I was a little disappointed at times. But honestly, that is a nitpick and one of the very few criticisms I had. It really just stems from the fact that I adored the monster design so much, and the reveals were my favorite part of the game. I also have to mention the AI of these monsters. Something that Capcom has just figured out is how monsters would act in various situations. For example, when a monster is beginning to get weak, it starts to act desperate. Its attacks will get aggressive yet sloppy, as if they were real-life beasts doing whatever they can to survive. Monsters can encounter other large-scale beasts and begin a duel, all while you watch in anticipation for the perfect time to jump in. It all works so well and makes Monster Hunter Wilds feel so alive. Another massive change in Wilds compared to other Monster Hunter games is the way missions are started. Now quests are more dynamic and start on the fly. Basically, you will see a monster on your map and can find it, attack it, and right there the quest starts. It then acts like the quests in old games, where you have an hour to beat it and can only die 3 times. This dynamic approach to the quests keeps the game moving at a good pace and doesn't put so many unnecessary roadblocks between you and the action. You can jump right in whenever you want, and this is helped by the large new open world map that you can explore freely. It all works amazingly, and I hope Capcom keeps this formula for future entries. But while all of what I've said before this is really positive, I do have one major issue, and that is with the overall performance of the game. Now, I played on the standard PS5, and I imagine that is what a lot of people will be pointing on. The worst technical issue I had was with the textures. This game had some of the muddiest textures I've seen in quite some time. Whether it was the environment, clothing, or monster details, it was all really, really bad. There was one point late in the game where it was really cinematic and it pans to your character's face, and it was supposed to be this super epic moment, and I was immediately taken out by how terrible the mask over this face looked. It was just one giant blob and felt really distracting. I do know that Capcom has been continually patching and improving the game, and that the PS5 Pro is supposed to look better, but this was my experience with the game. So overall, those are my thoughts on Monster Hunter Wilds. This literally feels like a game made for me. They have changed or improved on a lot of the parts of Monster Hunter franchise that I wasn't a fan of. With the introduction of the focus mode, perforation attacks, secrets, a large continuous open world, a revamped quest system, to me, it all feels like a much smoother and continuous game that keeps the action flowing. Combined with a surprisingly emotional and engaging story, makes for a great game. Technical issues aside, I think Capcom have made something special that I look forward to continually playing. I would give Monster Hunter Wilds a 9 out of 10. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.